The ego is the system that runs your sense of self. It is made out of thought patterns, emotions, and behavioral loops, and the stories that try to hold it all together. Left unchecked, it creates endless existential searching, chronic disconnection, and the persistent sense that something is wrong. The goal of my videos is clarity, to see your identity and its contradictions for what they are, named precisely, to finally understand what it is that we're all running away from. We usually think that time is something outside of us, like time exists as some force in the universe and it is moving us throughout our life. But this conception of time doesn't make sense if you believe in the theory of relativity, or if you understand the theory of relativity, better said. Because there is no universal point of time. There are only perspectives of time. And I know that for me, when I was younger, time used to be an obsession of mine. Like I tried to track where I am in time and space, and I noticed how I could never really grasp it. I could never really touch it or hold on to it. And this way, whenever I felt extremely good about myself, I wanted to freeze time somehow. And then when I didn't feel so good, I thought the fact that anything exists at all is a mistake, and I hate being whatever I am. But the body, instead of just being within time, it is more accurate to imagine it as a way time has colonized the universe. It's like you are time stored in fleshy biology. This is what I call the clockwork body. If you think about it logically, then you are a process of millions and billions of years. It's not that you just have been born and since then this process has started. This process goes since to the beginning of the universe, and who knows where else. Nobody has chosen for this to start, but it clearly has started and doesn't have any intentions of stopping. So each bone in your body, each microfiber of skin is the process of billion-year-old stars forming into your particular machinery. And looking at it like this, it's like time is stored in the body. And you are the entire universe's state spaces collapsing into the present moment. Think about how unlikely it is that you are here now. From all possible state spaces of consciousness, what is the likelihood that you find yourself in this present moment experience? Statistically, it is impossible that you are actually here and not anywhere else. But in the same vein, of course you're here and not anywhere else. Because where else are you supposed to be? From the perspective of the shining star, it can always wonder, why isn't it any of the other bright lights? But every star in this situation can ask itself the same question. If you are it, then this is where the state space of consciousness has configured itself as it. Seeing as the body, like a machine made of time, makes you appreciate much more how many cyclical aspects of your own processing is happening all the time. Just so many processes happening both in the brain, but also just your bacteria eating other bacteria in your gut, and how your DNA is being written to form the right type of proteins, how important it is to get a good sleep rhythm down so your body internally knows when it's night and when it's day, and how to repair itself in the meantime, the time that you eat. Like there's so much stored in just these cyclical ways of being. And even the posture right now, like I'm sitting relatively straight right now, and it's a habit because I've been doing this for so many hours, especially when I meditate. And it's not that I always have good posture, but it is also possible that I would have spent a ton of time in worse posture, and then I'd be sitting like this instead. So this is just a stupid small detail, but you can find how much influence these habitual time loops have had on your life. And this is then what makes your sense of identity feel real. the body stores the past. And I would say that your past exists way more as present day consequence than some sort of memory. You are who you are because of your past. And this is true to the precise molecules of your body. Every microfacial expression is the consequence of millions of facial expressions that you've done in the past. And it's like water in the mountains carving themselves through erosion into the surface and then moving or morphing the shape of the mountain. And you do this even with your own facial expressions, the way you form your thoughts, the way you articulate yourself. And if you start to get very neurotic about this stuff, then you become self-conscious and you try to control the time instead of being what you are through the consequences of everybody's actions. You then want to monitor who you are right now. And this creates this weird feeling of self-consciousness where you're not present in some expressive, loose sense, but you're monitoring the time all the time. You're wondering if you're behaving how you're supposed to behave. And even this is, conditioning that happens through looping into this sense that you're inadequate right now, that there needs to be something that makes it okay for you to behave how you behave. When an identity feels stable, time feels stable, and you get into a certain sense of rhythm. You can also say that the topic of time completely drops away because you're not really concerned about time. You know that all the time you find yourself in the present moment, so there's nothing to do but to be present. When you are anxious, you are basically having the future arrive early. And if you are always worried about the past, or like you're regretful about what happened in the past, it's like you're never actually in the present and you're dragging the past around you like some sort of burden that follows you around. And what you're not getting is that you are the clockwork. You are the cyclical nature of all things. And if you embrace the rhythm of your own mind, of your own life, of the way you want to behave, then time truly passes you by in the best way possible. You're moving with the rhythm of life instead of trying to fight it, instead of thinking yourself to be some separate part of time and space. You see that you are immediately enmeshed in time and space. And from a deeply spiritual perspective, you are time and space. And it becomes kind of obvious that whatever time is can only be existing in your own awareness. Just imagine the differences in timeline between you and me. Like, I'm 27 years old by now. I'm born the 2nd of October, 1998. And so from a very real perspective, like, we are not in the same timeline. Yeah, we are crossing biological, physical bodies right now, but even this is kind of like a digital illusion, but we're not really in the same state space of like time. Like, for me, it has passed in a different rhythm. And more so when I take high doses of psychedelics. It hasn't happened often, but when it happens, then it completely destroys my entire perception of time in a way that when I come out of the trip, I might experience that an entire lifetime has passed. And this has happened only a few times. But when it has happened, it just really feels like you're opening a door, moving outside of normal human timelines, and then you're just in this timeless space. And it really changed how I perceive reality in such a foundational way, because you are always under the illusion that time is truly something external. But if you take a substance and suddenly 1 minute feels like 5 hours, and it truly does feel this way, and you come out of this experience, well, then suddenly everything starts to feel like an illusion, Because even your own perception of time, which you thought is grounded in at least some sort of reality, can, by the snip of some fingers, be turned into something unrecognizable. So of course, our sense of identity wants to protect its sense of time. Because if time is truly an illusion and all that is real is just pure perception that can be stretched into infinity or compressed into mere microseconds of experience, then the sense of solidity, the sense of feeling grounded in reality can drop. It is difficult, to say the least, to start to feel like that time doesn't exist. It is madness. And when I was in like dark night of the soul territory, like it's just a very intense dissolution of my sense of identity and wondering who am I in respect to other people. And then you can have this sense that truly nobody has ever been in the same moment as you have been. It is a solipsistic feeling, because now time is something extremely personal. There's something that only you can verify for yourself whenever you are in the present moment. And then you start to feel disconnected with other people. Like your own timelines are disconnected and you don't cohere. And if you're very much worried about the past, you have regrets about the past and are worried about the future, even though you're not in this weird psychedelic dissolution, dark night of the soul, meditation retreat state, you still have a problem to be present and harmonize with the clock of the other person, with the entire clockwork body of another person's experience. When you're truly present with somebody, you are just there. You do not think about something relating to another place and time. And then you start to feel authentic connection with the person. And suddenly, this feeling is that everything is happening at the same time. Everything is just this giant connection, always perpetuating and manifesting itself through all crevices, all mountain lines and river spaces, and times truly erodes absolutely everything it comes in contact with, and at the same time builds it up into incredible machinery. It is a marvel that any of this can exist at all. And marveling about this incredible nature is where time looks at itself and thinks, how the hell is any of this possible at all? Because it is truly impossible. It makes no sense. How can you be in the present moment? How can you be in all moments of your life in your own lifetime? And how can anybody be themselves in their respective moment in time? It all starts to seem like a giant joke or a giant miracle. Seeing yourself as a biological engine and looking at reality in this time, framing and seeing everything as like cycles repeating themselves and loops feeding on each other, gives you deeper compassion both for your own body and how much you actually have to manage your own body to feel good, and also in other people's experiences, and that everybody has their time and place for certain realizations or learning experiences. Like you cannot really fold another person to not be where you are right now in your life. And everybody has to move through their own timeline and see when something is right for themselves. In the same sense, you can check my ego architecture audit in the link in the description, where I analyze your sense of ego and identity. And there you can see if this is, the right time for you. Very quirky, I know. So in order for you to truly understand the cyclical nature of your own body, Science is your biggest friend to understand what are the cycles that the body uses in order to feel, safe and healthy. And most of it relates to when do you go to sleep? When do you remove yourself from digital media? When do you eat? And what are like your cycles of work to leisure? And nowadays, this is pretty much chaotic for most people. Like even myself, I don't have like a rigid schedule. It's just not how I work. And my sleep can also be somewhat chaotic. But the more you align yourself into a rhythm that feels natural to you, the more you start to notice that the machine functions. And it really is about very basic maintenance stuff that makes you feel mentally and physically healthy. Although the mental health doesn't start just with, taking care of your body and working out. I know there are way deeper issues that can be at play that is causing depression or some, sorts of identity conflicts that aren't just solved by working out more. But I can assure you that all these very clockwork maintenance tinkerings that you can do to your body make a huge difference in how everything is perceived. And if life seems like a slog and very, very slow, and you just want every day to be over, then it's especially important to figure out what is causing the clock to run so slowly.